Hey guys, this is a skier task guide for Down the Rabbit Hole Part 3. For this task, we do have to go to Streets and place the Wi-Fi cameras in 2 specific locations there, as well as obtain the documents from the car dealership. And then you have to survive an extract from Streets to go to Customs, where we will be stashing the documents at the 3-story dorm building. And then we have to shoot off a yellow signal flare from the dorm's courtyard on Customs, and then survive an extract from the location. Now, it is very important to note that this task is similar to the skier task bullshit in that you cannot kill any scavs while this task is still active, and you also cannot die. If either of these two things happen to you, then you will fail the task and have to start all over. The only thing that you can kill is another PMC, so this is a very, very challenging task. So firstly, for the streets portion of this task, then you will need 2 Wi-Fi cameras, which you can buy them from the flea market right now for a wildly inflated price due to this task. Or if you have unlocked the skier task informed means armed, then you can buy them from Mechanic for 287 euros, which does come out to about 45,000 rubles. Or there is also a barter trade at Mechanic level 1 for 1 power bank and 1 electronic components. Now, the other issue with this task is that you will also require the car dealership close section key, which is only a single use key, but it is also wildly expensive, selling for over 4 million rubles right now. And it was actually up to 20 million yesterday. This key did very frequently spawn on Kaban, but however, this event has dropped all of the boss's spawn rates down to 0, so the only way currently to get the key is from jackets or the pockets and bags of scavs, as well as your scav case, or you can also buy it from the flea market, which is the reason for the hike up in price. Now, the reason that you do need this key is because one of the Wi-Fi cameras has to be planted in here, and all 3 of the document spawn locations are inside of this room. Now, another method that you can try instead of buying this key is that you can wait until closer to the end of the raid and see if somebody else has opened up the door for you. But since you're not allowed to kill scavs and this area is currently being rushed by player scavs more so than normal, it is going to be likely impossible if you're a solo player to be able to come in and do this. But if you do have somebody on your team designated to kill scavs, then this could work. And there is actually a way to get into this room and essentially bypass the need for this key, but I will show you guys that at the end of the video. And I'm not showing you guys at the end of the video to make you stay until the end, but I just find it's a very difficult jump and one that's not going to be viable for most of the community to try, especially when everybody's going to be coming here into the Lexos compound, and then you also need a friend to help boost you up. So just to save majority of your guys' time, then I'll just show you guys the jump spot at the end. And I should have a timestamp down at the bottom as well. So here's the map of Streets, and we do have to go into the Lexos compound. We have 4 different access points to get into the dealership, and one nice thing is that Kaban isn't spawning, so you don't have to worry about him or his guards gunning you down as you try to enter into the compound. So you can enter in at the north side by the Tarbank and Check 15 building, or by the south end by the Tepico building. You can also enter in the east side by using the aspect key, or you can also jump over at the west side by the Big Sparger grocery store using that dumpster to jump over the fence. Basically, whichever way that you prefer, you can get into the compound and you don't have to worry about being gunned down by the guards. Once you get into this compound, then your goal is to head up to the 2nd floor of the dealership, where we will be planting our first Wi-Fi camera outside of the locked room. It is going to be on the right-hand side at the top of the stairs at the box with the sandbags on top. This will be a 40-second timer, so obviously you will be very vulnerable at this time. It is also worth mentioning that I did this task as a 4-man. We ended up having 2 of us actively doing the task and then 2 protectors who could kill the scavs. And then once we complete it, then we traded off and reversed the roles. But it is definitely possible to do this as a solo or with everybody attempting the task. It just makes it a little bit more challenging is all. After you finish your plant here, then behind us by the staircase on the right-hand side, you will see the graded door, and this is the location where you can use the car dealership close section key. Once you unlock this door, then the second location for the Wi-Fi camera is going to be at the table with the sandbags on it on the left-hand side, and it does have a spotlight aiming into the dealership on it. This is another 40-second plant, and honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of this plant because it does feel like you can get sniped from across the road since there is an opening underneath this table, but luckily that didn't happen to me or anybody from my squad. Now, once you complete this plant, then you will have to pick up the documents, which have 3 potential spawns inside of this locked room. The first will be directly behind you on the table inside the pizza box, since obviously it's Kaban's documents, so where else would he put them? The second spawn is going to be to the left on the corner of this box that's just in front of this green crate. And this does seem like it is the most frequent spawn, or at least for me and my group. And then the last spawn is on the way back out of this locked section, in between the folded mattress underneath the desk, just left of where you planted the Wi-Fi camera. After you have found the documents and both Wi-Fi cameras are planted, then you are hopefully going to have a close extract that you can sprint to and then get out and avoid all the scavs on the way. Because if you do kill any scavs or die on your way, then you will have to restart the task, which includes replanting the Wi-Fi cameras. Just be aware that PMCs are camping the entry points of Lexos and waiting to kill you as you are leaving the compound. So just make sure to scan all the different areas or to leave out of a way that is going to be less camps, such as the Sparger grocery store jump over. So once you've extracted from Streets, then we will be heading to Customs, and this is a very important piece of information to know, is that this task does not tell you that you have to bring in a yellow flare with you until you've already gone to dorms and planted your documents. So to make sure that you are prepared for the Customs portion of this task, then you want to make sure that you bring in a yellow flare with you, that you can buy the handheld version from Proper Level 1 or the cartridge to use with the flare gun at Jaeger Level 1. So now that we've gone over that, here's a map of Customs, and where we do have to plant the documents from Streets is at the 3-story dorms building, and it is going to be across from the marked room inside of the toilet. So we are here in Customs, and this is the 2-story dorm building, and this is the 3-story dorm. So we are going to be heading into the 3-story dorm building, going all the way up to the top floor. And then once we get to the top floor, then we will take a left and head down to the very end of the hallway. On your right-hand side, then you will have the 314 marked room. And then directly across from it on your left-hand side is going to be the bathroom. And inside of this room in the left-hand side is going to be the toilet where we have to place the documents. Now this again is going to be another 40-second plant just because BSG wants to make us suffer. After you have completed this plant, then you will have to go into the dorm's courtyard area, so the area that's in between the 2 and the 3-story dorms building, and then fire off your yellow flare into the sky. I ended up just going into the middle area next to the slide and fired it off into the sky, and it ended up working for me. Just make sure that you don't fire the flare off at a 90-degree angle straight up, because apparently that can make your task not complete for you, and then you'll have to come back and then fire another yellow flare into the sky. And apparently it does have to hit a certain height, otherwise again it won't count. After you have completed this yellow flare portion, then you will have all these subtasks complete, and now it will say that the task is complete and ready to turn in, but just be aware that until you actually turn the task into skier, you cannot kill any other scavs or die, otherwise you will end up still failing this task and having to redo it. So if the car is here, then it will obviously be best to take that and get out of there ASAP. Or if you do have to run to an extract, then just make sure that you bypass majority of the scavs or just continue to run past them, and hopefully you tank a few shots and don't get hit with the head eyes. Now, as promised for the jump spot to bypass the closed section key, we are at the bottom of the Lexus car dealership building, and you will need a friend to come with you so that you can jump on them to boost you up. But basically, your friend or whoever it is boosting you up will have to come over here and jump up on top of this box and then onto the windowsill, and then they will have to right hand lean this way as they walk all the way over next to this pillar and then crouch. And then whoever is trying to get up into the closed section will have to get up on top of this box also, and then on the windowsill, and then you can jump up on their head and then jump up into the corner. Once you get up into this corner area, then you will have to jump and crouch onto this next windowsill, and then you're going to hug along into this fence and get into the closed section area. And just so that you guys know, you can propel yourself out the window and then onto the floor next to the aspect building and then break both your legs. So just be aware of that. And this is also a very frustrating jump because you are jumping on your teammate's head, so it does act really screwy with the collision of the PMCs, and then sometimes it just won't allow you to jump, and basically you'll just fall off your teammate's head even though you're hitting the spacebar. Your PMC just won't do anything. So it will take a lot of trial and error, but if you are able to do it, then it can save you 4 million plus on the key. And then to get back out of this area, then you can leave the same way that you went in, just by jumping and crouching onto the windowsill and then back down. So hopefully you guys found this guide useful and it does help you to complete this task. Thank you guys so much for picking my guide to watch. And if you're still here at the end, then I greatly appreciate you, and I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is just a couple of my different social links in case you guys wanted to connect more easily. I am primarily streaming on Twitch now multiple nights a week. So if you do want to connect with me or my community, that would probably be the easiest way to do so. And if you do come over to the Twitch and you want to join the Discord community, then just type !Discord or cord in the chat in order to get an invite link. And if you don't use Twitch, then I do have a link in the picture as well as a link below in the description. And we are growing and currently have an active and welcoming community with people of all experience and skill levels. So there will always be someone who could help to answer any questions that you may have. As always, thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching the video, and I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day.